Hey everyone, it's Diana, and I cannot believe that it's already halfway through the year and we have about another 6 more months to go. I don't know about you, but for me, I am always looking for something to give me a fresh start. And since I moved into my new place, I think now is like the perfect time to do that. And I thought I would share with you guys kind of my thought process and what I like to do when I want to start fresh on goals. So if you feel like you need a fresh start, you are in the right place. Today we're going to do a mid-year refresh, restart, goal setting type of video.
So I know I look crazy right now, but I'm editing my video and I cannot stop staring at my hair. It was just difficult to see what I looked like using my Apple Watch as like a viewfinder. So really, this video has just pushed me into being more serious about buying a better camera with a flip screen viewfinder so I can see what I look like. Yeah. I'm not gonna refilm this video, you guys. It is what it is. Go ahead and laugh. I don't care.
Well, just said a bunch of words and I wasn't even recording. So what I like to first do when I start thinking about goals or want to restart something, I take a moment to reflect back. And in this particular situation, the past 6 months. If you've been watching my videos, then you know, or you can actually see just how much my life has changed from January to now, which is July. And if you had asked me what my life would have looked like back in January, I don't think I would have ever been able to even guess I would be at this point in my life. Or be where I am, or really even be able to say that I am probably having the best time of my life so far. And I don't even do that much. I don't know. I'm just really happy lately. So I like to look back in the past 6 months, see what I have accomplished, what I haven't, and what I'd like to do differently. And of course, I am still using my car journal, except now I have a place to keep it in my in my home. I carry it around with me, but it does mostly stay in my car. If you watched my January 2024 reset video, I've written down all like my debt and monthly goals that I wanted to achieve and just kind of use this as a notebook to keep track of things. It's a good time to grab a journal and just start writing out everything that you can remember that you have accomplished and you didn't. And if you're more organized than me, you would have had a very clear list of exactly what you wanted to accomplish. Writing it all down will help us, you and me, mainly me, help me see what I have accomplished and then what I need to change and how to get to achieving those goals. So once you have figured out what goals you've completed and what you haven't, you want to revisit those goals that you haven't completed and see, are they still relevant and have your priorities changed? I think it's totally okay to change your goals as your life changes or set new ones that align with the person that you are in the moment. This is where you really want to create an action plan for those goals and try not to get too carried away. It's a good time to have categories for like lifetime goals, like 20, 10, 5 years, a year, and 6 months, so that if you think of something you think, is this possible? Can I do it in the next 6 months? If not, move it to the 1 year category, 5 year, 10 year, whatever type of categories that you have created for yourself. Then just take a look at the 6 month category and see where it can be broken down even more. What you can do daily, weekly, monthly to get you closer to those goals. I think setting deadlines is something that can be a good or bad thing depending on the type of person you are. And a lot of the times I feel like when you are goal setting, you really need to work on understanding yourself and making sure you're not limiting yourself, but being aware of the type of person you are. For me personally, I know that when I set deadlines, I have learned to be kind to myself and just from experiences from completing my past goals, they, for the most part, happen in the general timeline that I've set it to. But I want to say 99% of the time, I have never been exactly right on the dot by completing it by a certain deadline. And for the most part, it's also never been exactly the goal that I wanted. It's in some other form of variation. For example, this might be a little funny, but there was one year where I said I wanted to get a new car. I was sharing a car with my parents and I had moved out. This was like 6 years ago. I just couldn't bite the bullet to buy a new car because I had this car with me, or car that I had. And the reason why I needed a new car was because I wanted one of my own. I didn't want to share it with my parents anymore. Hated having to ask to use the car all the time or making sure that their schedule was free so that I could use the car. I ended up getting a new car, but in the most weird roundabout way, I crashed that car. I got into a car accident, and so I was forced to get a new car. And my friend jokingly was like, hey, you set that goal to get a car, and this is one way of getting it. It was a ridiculous way to complete a goal, but it happened. And it was one way of just kind of reframing the way that I was thinking about that situation instead of moping around. I'd be like, hey, at least I'm getting a new car out of this. The next step would be to develop healthy habits to attain those goals. When I create goals, I not only like to think about like the materialistic goals that I can achieve, but also how I feel emotionally and physically. So back in my card journal here, back in January, I actually wrote out like how I wanted to feel emotionally and physically, and then anything other that had nothing to do with something tangible. Or so I wanted to create some goals that had nothing to do with like achieving something tangible. So for example, I wrote stuff like my emotional state, how I want it to feel. I wanted tools to deal with the ups and downs, be anxious free, manage my ADHD, see a therapist regularly, be calm and collected. These are more like ongoing emotional things. But I would say that I've not achieved them, but I am actively working on getting there. And then for physically, I wanted to move every day, stretch, make my body pains go away. It's something that I am working on, and it's easier now more than ever because I have a gym at my apartment and great little parks to walk around. So this is where developing healthy habits is really going to help you with completing, achieving your goals, whatever you set your goals on. Once you figure out the goals, you've broken them down, I think it's good to think about what habits will support these goals and achieving them. Focus on one or two habits so it's not super overwhelming, and incorporating these habits into your daily routine. Consistency is key. I also think it's important to note that being nice to yourself is a healthy habit that I think everyone should be practicing, and being okay with not completing something daily. I think learning to be nice to yourself is a good, healthy habit that will help you achieve your goals across the board, whatever they may be. And just because you have been trying to set up a daily habit or whatever, it's okay to miss a day or two. I have a hard time with this as well. I like to beat myself up a lot because I want to be perfect all the time, and I just need to be a lot nicer to myself, because when I am, I'm more likely to just pick up where I left off the next day or whenever, instead of talking down to myself and then not wanting to keep going because in my head I have thought that I've already failed at achieving this goal. Another thing to think about when creating these goals is, how are you going to stay motivated and what can keep you accountable? You want to find your why you set these goals in the first place. And this why will keep you motivated during the tough times. I also think it's important that stuff comes in ebbs and flows, and it goes back to being nice to yourself. Attaining things is never a race, at least to me. I always think of it as a marathon. There'll be periods of time where I feel good and I can get a lot more done and get closer to my goal. And then there will be times where I might even take a step or two back. But as long as I keep trying at one point or another, I'm closer to it than if I just completely give up. I also think having an accountability partner, and I say partner as in it can be whatever form you want it to be, whether it be like a single person, a community forum, YouTube. I think just speaking it out into existence and knowing that other people know about what you want to achieve psychologically somehow makes you stick to those goals and attain them. I wouldn't say faster, but eventually. So remember, you want to reflect on your goals, reevaluate them, create an action plan, and develop healthy habits to achieving those goals, and then figuring out what can help you stay motivated. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, I would love a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Let me know what your mid-year goals are, because I'm always looking for ideas and inspiration. I myself am going to work on creating my goals right now, and I will probably post them in my next video. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.